Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Telecast TV. I'm Mira Kwangala. You're watching a conversation with Mr. Fabiyi speaking about the wave of various views from the Senate, speaking about online transmission and why others are saying they never stopped the transmission of results. It's as if the House of Assembly, Federal House of Assembly, knows what best Nigeria needs more than the Senate, where they are being divided, whereby the good people in the Senate doesn't have the majority vote, whereby the majority vote is coming from those who want to bring this country backwards, covering the real-time transmission of results from various wards. And he also spoke extensively, saying that if elections were free and fair, and if they could upload from the ward, no APC member will win the election. How true is this statement? Endeavor to subscribe, like, comment, share your opinion about this. Don't miss trending videos.
Use of compulsory electronic transmission of votes on election day. So what is playing out, and how will this shape the months ahead as Nigerians prepare to head to the polls? We'll also get to talk about party politics, especially one that involves Nigeria's main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, and what played out this week as far as the leadership crisis is concerned. And who best to have a conversation with on a day like this than someone who understands not just Nigerian politics, but also the intricacies around 2027 and what is playing out across the country. Honorable Oladimeji Fabiyi is here with us for tonight's conversation. It's good to see you again. Thank you so much for joining us.
See you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. This is the first time actually seeing you.
So robust and fresh.
I'll take it. Well, this week, as any other week, you can imagine, a lot of ups and downs in the polity, conversations about Nigerian elections. You heard what INEC said regarding its timeline. It needs what it needs as far as legislation is concerned so that it can put its own house in order. However, all eyes have been on the National Assembly over the past couple of weeks, because there seems to be this issue around whether the Senate or the House of Representatives are dilly-dallying, dragging their foot about what the amendments would look like as the passage is expected. First of all, your initial take on the journey so far regarding the amendment process itself and how we got to this particular point where some of the critical components that Nigerians are expecting to be a part of the amendments are becoming the bone of contention.
Okay, Abdullah, thank you very much, and good evening, viewers. It's been a very bad day for Nigerians, and we can't run away from it. It's really been a bad day with the action of the Senate. I don't want to talk about the entire National Assembly because all of these things, evolved around the Senate. We're all aware that the House of Representatives have already done something on it, and they've made they've acted in line with the wishes of Nigerians. But Senate has chosen to go the other side, and Senate, to me, is gradually becoming an obstacle to our democratic governance. It was a direct assault on our democratic governance, and then it doesn't speak well for this country, where tomorrow on daily basis we try to request the democratic partners come and support us, come and do this. Where does this lead us now? So all those observer missions and all of them, they come. So having said that, it's really pathetic that we have an institution that is supposed to be a bastion of democracy, that promotes democratic tenets, principles, and ideals, going this way. That's why I see the disappointment, in Nigerians about the Senate, that everybody that have thought that, okay, you will enrich our democratic governance, and they have failed in that. It's a huge disappointment. How did we get here? You recall that in the last election, 2023, after the election and the PDP candidate, Atiku Abubakar, went to court, and Mr. Peter Obi, the outcome of that was that I remember the Supreme Court, in my own layman understanding, said we can't give you judgment because all of these things you're asking for do not have any force of law. And you also recall that in the build-up to that, the then INEC chairman came out boldly, was trying to convince even our youth to say, guys, don't worry, it's not going to be business as usual. Anything you do, you guys are in a tech age, everything is going to be transmitted. He gave all sort of promises. But those promises were broken, badly broken. So the issue of trust ensued immediately. And that's why you see Nigerians asking for this to be done. And I have expected that the Senate will be so responsible, will be so sensible enough to listen. You conducted, this same Senate conducted public hearing across the geopolitical, the electoral committee, the team, the electoral committee members. They went around the country and they came back with a report. So why are you now doing something different from what the Nigerian people that put you there asked you to do? So it's a big question the Senate was able to answer us. I have two kids, one is responsible, one is not responsible. House of Reps seems more responsible. They call them the younger version of the National Assembly, but they seem more responsible than the one in Senate. I'm not saying that we don't have good ones among them, but those good ones don't have the voice.
Yeah, what do you make of the minority caucus?
The minority caucus, yes, that's where I'm going. I'm very happy that the minority caucus came out and made some level of clarification about it, and they extricated themselves from all these shenanigans done by Akpabio and his team. You could see something there yesterday. According to an account, I read it somewhere today. I can't, if I can, I would have even brought it out. That thing was done on the floor of the chamber when they were sitting. That amendment because somebody was talking to somebody in the villa. It's a direct insult on, it's an assault on democracy, it's an insult on Nigerians. And the question I always ask is, what has Nigerian done to Akpabio? What has Nigerians done to all of these people, from the president, even to the judiciary, that we're being given this kind of treatment? What have we done to them?
What are you accusing the Senate President or even the President of exactly regarding this conversation? What are you accusing them of?
I'm surprised you're asking me this question. I'm accusing them because they are trying to be clever by half. See what they did. How can Nigerians tell you, Nigerians are elected you to be there to represent them, to make laws that will better their lives? See, the moment we miss that, what's it called? Our recruitment process is faulty. We are not going to get it right. And this is where it starts from. I was even expecting that they would take some other far-reaching amendment. This is the major one. Because the court clearly said we cannot adjudicate it because it does not have a force of law. Why can't you give it a force of law? Why can't you make it mandatory? Yeah, they're now talking about transfer, transmission, whichever one, give it a force of law. This action is even going to disenfranchise Nigeria. Do you know why it's going to be like that? Because people would vote. You said, because I know that in advanced climes, they will give you data, statistics, that led to the decision they took. What did they do? It's just political. If you tell me it's because you can't transfer, because if you are going to Kaduna and in a section of Kaduna, the road, there won't be a network there to transmit results. If you do that, if you say that's the reason, then you are not being honest with Nigerians, because it means that you are going to what this thing is talking about, voting. People would have finished voting. People would have finished voting. But if you don't, if you don't, then you can actually then send the results to wherever it's supposed to go. So if you don't do that, then you are going to no one you are disenfranchising Nigerians, because the result of their votes will not be counted.
Are you saying that when the Senate President said, listen, we're maintaining the provisions as contained in Section 60 of the 2022 Electoral Act, where the discretion is on INEC to transfer results as it sees fit, it's not enough? Why is that not enough?
That was where we were in the last election.
And what was the gap from your point of view?
The gap, how? Well, I'm just talking about what led us to this. If the trust has been built by INEC, if what INEC said was what they did, there won't be requests, there won't be all of these things. Nobody will care whether you transfer, whether it's in real time or not, because they know that we are going to do that. It will certainly come. So the thing of the seed, all of these things, the Senate and the presidency are playing games, and that game is, this is where they want to zone Nigeria. They want us to go back to that old one so that they can perpetrate whatever they want to do, like in 2023, in 2027. That
again,
is simple
just to be clear, how does this benefit them? How does this benefit them directly?
It benefits them now. All of them, see, these guys don't want to commit class suicide. That's what they just did. Because they know that under a free, fair election, none of these guys will return, including Mr. President. None of them. If Mr. President feels he has done so well, and Nigerians are with him, and then let him give us free fair election. Let him do that. But for them not to do that was the reason they did what they did. And I can tell you this for free. Mr. President will not sign this bill. Even if it gets to him, he will not sign it. Go and write it.
Why wouldn't he?
He won't sign it. I can tell you, you will call me back and say, he's not going to sign it. Because they prefer to have that 2022 that gave them everything. We still go back to court.
Was the 2022 Electoral Act, in your view, so flawed that it cannot give Nigerians...
If it was not so flawed, why can't Supreme Court judge educate on it? It has flaws.
Some would say, if you're talking about the Supreme Court, maybe the legal counsel of whether it's the PDP or the Labour Party, they didn't do a good job of convincing them. I mean, we've heard... We've heard from the justices about how unconvincing the arguments have been.
No, the court was very clear. The court was very clear. Apart from all the other things that are there, that the burden of proof has to be on the, is it plaintiff they call them or whatever? Yeah. That is even wrong. It should be on INEC that conducted the election. That's what we're saying. Was that part of the whole thing they did? Was there any? The big elephant in the room is this mandatory transmission of results from the polling unit to whatever portal they have created, so that people can see how are these things done in America. I've never seen where the chief of electoral body in America sat. I'm an American person. I do a lot with America. I've never seen where the chief of, and I've witnessed so many elections in the US. I've never seen where the chief of electoral, like our own INEC chairman, will come and say, we are declaring winner. You know what I'm talking about. You would have seen it.
But they also have a flawed system. I mean, most recently, 2020, remember what Trump said about the election and how it nearly...
What came out of it?
Upturned. It's still a problem.
President Trump...
Same issue in 2016.
Why?
Same issue with Bush, Al Gore.
Why didn't he say that when he won now?
Right. Yeah, so that's the point, isn't it? Isn't the bigger problem politicians
was he saying that those things were the thing that were corrected as I won?
Isn't the bigger problem politicians whose narrative keep changing depending on whether they are winners or losers in an election?
Our own is pathetic. The brand of politics we do in this country is only in Nigerian politics you see they'll add black pepper, red pepper and everything. It's not like that. We can't advance, we can't progress like this. Our recruitment process, leadership recruitment is important, and this is where it starts from. Now, our electoral law only deals more with general election. It does not deal with the primary election, where the whole thing starts from. And I've expected that these guys will look at this critically and say, okay, let's see how we can give INEC power to regulate, not to really dabble into political party, because that's where it starts from. Before anybody stands for general election, you must have gone through the party primaries and the processes. So why? Okay, for instance, that we've experienced in the past where you get the membership list, the delegate list that you get to the field. The delegate list you saw yesterday would not be what they're going to produce to run the election. Why can't they give INEC regulatory power to do that? I say, okay, party, submit your delegate list. You would have known. Maybe 90 days or 120 days before election. Nobody will be able to tamper it. That will sort it out. Okay, what kind of election primaries do you want to do, direct or indirectly? Let us know. Then submit the delegates list now. So why can't they do that? Okay, the same electoral laws talk about 1 billion ceiling for presidency, 500 million. Who is enforcing it? INEC does not have the power to audit. So all of these things are critical challenges that they would have looked into. They took all the time, 2 years. They took all the time. They prefer to go on flimsy. We have to change our national anthem. Excuse me. We have to change the color of our flag. We have to. No, I mean this is not. We can't progress like this.
If you zoom out from where Nigeria started, from the 60s down to the Fourth Republic, you don't think there's enough progress to suggest that in spite of all the gaps, we are making progress when it comes to our elections?
I wouldn't say that.
Really?
But we're not there. We're not there yet.
I mean, I agree with you on that.
Yes,
you wouldn't say that this is work in progress?
No.
We're not better than where we were in '99.
Of course we were. Of course we've made some progress. I wouldn't deny that we've done. But as long as we're not there yet, we'll continue to talk about. We shouldn't say because we've made progress we don't talk again. We're talking about how we can make things better.
I'm asking you if you think this is all bad. This is all for naught.
Where we are
without this one element of electronic transmission.
Because it would have advanced us again. As look at beavers today. What is the use of beaver? I mean, it doesn't have any force of law, does it?
I mean, it does with the current amendment. I mean, you can't have an election without beavers.
So whatever fault, whatever problem you have with it, so court can adjudicate on it. So what stopped them from doing this one at the same time? So that we know what is next, the loophole we are going to see in the next election.
Why is compulsory transmission of result a deal breaker for you?
Okay, because our electoral challenge in the last 2 election cycle has been because of this manual thing. You see result sheet multi-liter, you see a lot of things. You know, this thing, technology, all over the world are advancing with technology. Why are we retrogressing? This is what National Assembly, this is what the Senate, not National Assembly, the Senate has done to us. The entire world has taken their bath, they've dressed up, they've boarded their flight, they're almost where they're going, we're still looking for water and soap to bathe. That's what the Senate has done to Nigeria. Why are they bringing us back? The whole world, Africa is progressing. Everybody producing technology to make their electoral system work. Why are we still here? Who did this to Nigeria? And no thanks to Akpabio. It's only him who knows what is hiding. It's only him who knows what is pushing him.
There are 109 senators.
It's only him who knows what is pushing him.
You think the Senate president is the one who is deciding? The moment the head is rotting,
the entire body is rotting. We have seen Senate president in this country before. We have David Mark. Go and check his record. We have Bukola Saraki. Go and check his record. We have Ayim. Go and check their record. Were they not Senate presidents? We have a lot of them. Were they not Senate president? So what are you telling me? What is wrong with Akpabio? He's not representing Nigeria well in this thing. Only him knows what is chasing him. Only him knows what is pushing him to be working against the collective interest of Nigerian people. Because as a Senate president, you have so much overbearing power on your followers. If you are doing good things, nobody will stray. Nobody. This is the worst class of legislature we have in the Senate. The worst class.
As far as your opinion is concerned.
Yes, and posterity will not judge them right. Except the few ones among them that we know that have good intention, but they don't have the voice to do it. They don't have the way to do it.
At the end of the day, it's a numbers thing, isn't it? It's put to a vote. The APC already has a majority. This is how it's going to play out, isn't it? I mean, even with regards to the harmonization, we understand that this House of Reps is going to have a second look at its own proposal, which was passed last year.
Even if House of Reps oppose what they passed, it cannot go anywhere if Senate does not concur.
Yeah, obviously there has to be concurrence. There's no doubt about it. And we don't envision that is...
That's why I'm telling you that this is a card. This is a script. These guys never wanted to change anything from 2022 amendment bill. This is where they are zoning us. President will not sign this bill. Go and write it down today. President Bola Tinubu will not sign it.
I thought you said he wanted this. Well, so why wouldn't he sign it?
I said he wanted it.
You said he wanted 2022 provisions to remain intact.
That's exactly what I'm saying. He's going to the old one.
So why wouldn't he pass it?
Because if this one has not come to effect, you can't repeal that. Yeah, so that one will be in operation. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm saying if the amendments are still being jettisoned, as the case may be,
they will revert to the old one now.
No, I get it. I get it.
Especially if he doesn't sign it. But if he doesn't sign this new one.
But why wouldn't he though?
He's not going to sign it now. It's a card, it's a script. He prefers that one that that can easily manipulate the entire process.
Yeah, but
this one will not manipulate any system, any process.
According to your argument, as things stand right now, especially with regards to electronic transmission of results, which is not compulsory, because the Senate says, listen, we're going to stick with the provisions that were in 2022 Electoral Act, which is that INEC still gets to decide how it wants to transmit the election result. And if it wants, it can use electronic means. If it wants, it can
Nigerians don't want what you are talking about. Nigerians don't want it.
The point is, if at all this is, according to your argument, this is what the Senate President wants because this is what the President wants, right? If they are having it their way, why wouldn't they sign it? Because there are other elements to it, don't forget. The spending cap has been increased. Election notification has also been decreased from 360 to 180. There's more to this than just electronic transmission.
Abdullahi, electronic transmission is the biggest elephant in the room. The moment you don't get that, forget every other thing crumbles. Because that is the crux of the matter. Why don't you want the result to be transmitted from the polling unit to the IREF or whatever you do? Why is it difficult? Technology has made this thing so easy. And where it does not work, you use manual. What percentage of technology deployment do we need that we couldn't get that will now make us go to manual? How can you do manual 80% and technology 20% in this world, in this modern times? That's the question.
As you know.
See, these guys is a script. They prefer 2022 because it gives them a lot of latitude and leverage to achieve their inordinate whatever they want to do. This one will not help them, especially if that clause is there. Then, if you know there are other things, why can't you put this one too? If you are so sure of what you are saying, if you are so sure of what you are doing. I want to beg Mr. President to please, for the sake of Nigerians, no matter how long he stays in that office, he's going to leave the place one day. Akpabio will leave the place one day. All these people in the Senate that are doing this will leave that place one day. They should think about it. Nigerians don't deserve this. We have suffered enough. If this is the only thing Mr. President can achieve, let him achieve it and write his name in gold. You have not given us good security. Okay, fine. We understand. You have not given us the best of economy. We are forgiving you. There are so many things that the lapses in the government. Okay, fine. But give us this one. Because it will change every other thing for us in this country. It will change every other thing. It's what we're saying.
And as far as the politics of the conversation is concerned, I mean, clearly the opposition doesn't have the numbers. Not in the Senate, not in the House of Representatives.
That is it. So that's exactly,
so the majority will have their way.
That's the point. That's the point. All this story about glitches. This APC government should be ashamed that with the majority they have in both houses, they couldn't effect this for us, for Nigerians. They should be ashamed. APC leadership should be ashamed that upon all the issue of glitches that came up and all that in 20, and they could not fix this thing now. They could not fix it. They should be ashamed, and they have the majority. But if it was to borrow money to kill Nigerians, the pass is very fast. But this one that will help the country, that will help the people of this country, that will give them future, they can't use the power of their majority to do that. And they want us to be looking at them. I'm calling on Nigerians, especially the youth. Your future is being tampered with. Rise up. I'm not saying you go and carry gun. Fight for your rights. Constitution will give you certain rights. Fight for your rights. Fight for your future. You don't need to carry machetes. You don't need to kill somebody. You don't need to attack anybody. But fight for your rights as enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
So in the last 20
these people don't care about you. They only care about themselves. I was watching the clips yesterday. How fast the Deputy Senate President quickly seconded the motion moved by Munguno that's cut all of these things. These are not people worthy to be called leaders because they don't care about anybody. They don't care about you. They don't care about your future. If you like, no problem.